In today's video, I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes young hoopers make and how to fix them. Let's get right into it. So the first one is poor shot selection. In our academy, I tell our players all the time, there's different levels of shots. There's bad, there's decent, there's good, and there's great. And a good way to think about it is, if you took this shot and you missed, would your coach be upset? So we try to hunt shots that, regardless of make or miss, our coach claps his hands and says, good shot. So that's shot selection. If you have poor shot selection, that's an easier way to get taken out the game. So some of these shots could be contested shots instead of finding a better look. They could be settling for deep threes instead of attacking the defense, and not understanding when to drive, shoot, or pass. So overall, if you fix that shot selection, you're decreasing the likelihood of your coach finding an opportunity to take you out the game. Number two is over dribbling. Trying to do too much with the ball instead of making quick decisions. We see this way too often with our players. Everyone's trying to be a hero, taking 5, 6, 7 dribbles, when in reality, all you usually need is 1 or 2 quick moves, getting downhill and getting to the rim. So if you find yourself over dribbling, try to move the ball quickly, because what we tell our players all the time is, if you pass it ahead or you move it, 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back to you. So you don't want to be that one player who everybody is annoyed with for dribbling too much, and you don't want to dribble just to dribble. We see young players sometimes just dribble through their legs because they think it looks cool dribbling through their legs. Make sure every dribble has a purpose and don't just dribble to dribble. And a way to fix this is to keep it simple. Like I said, use purposeful dribbles, focus on quick, effective moves. Number 3 is weak offhand development. Too often we see players, especially righties, that can only go right. And the simplest way to defend that is just to force them left. So if you neglect working on your weak hand, I promise you, as you get older, it's going to get harder and harder at each level you get if you can't go both ways. So if you can't finish with your weak hand and you just drive and you only have your right hand, if you can't dribble with your weak hand, that's probably even harder. Another way is it's just way too predictable for defenders. So if I'm the defense and you only go right, I'm literally just going to load up and make you go left, and that's going to really affect the way that you're effective on the court. So commit to using weak hand drills and in game situations, even if it's uncomfortable. That's why we train, right? We train to improve our weaknesses, and if you improve that weak hand to make it equal or even better than your strong hand, you're going to become a really dynamic player. Number 4, and this honestly might be the most important, is lack of conditioning and strength training. So you can work on all the skills in the world. You can be the best shooter, the best ball handler, the best finisher at the rim. But if you're not in good shape and 2 minutes into the game, you're huffing and puffing and calling for a sub, then all those skills and all those workouts literally mean nothing. So this doesn't mean going to run line touches all day and night, but you got to make sure you get in your conditioning work, whether it's running hills in the summer, whether it's just playing pickup over and over. And the best way we see conditioning is just to play basketball as much as you can. So don't overdo it, obviously, because you want to be fresh for the season and fresh for the games, but you need to make sure that you're training when you're tired and you're pushing yourself with conditioning so that when it comes game time, you're one of the players that can stay on the court the longest, play the most minutes, and by the fourth quarter, you're not getting calf cramps and you're able to withstand some fatigue and make some shots. Some ways that this can affect you is struggling to finish through contact, especially if you're not strong enough, right? So make sure you find a strength coach. It can even be by yourself, just doing some push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups at a young age. And if you don't have the stamina to do this, playing on both ends of the floor, it's going to be really hard to progress once you get, especially to that high school level. So, you know, if you're 7th, 8th, 9th grader, make sure you start taking this seriously, because no matter how many skills you have, if you're not strong enough, if you're not in good enough shape, it's going to be hard to stay out on the floor. Number 5 is ignoring defense. This is something that I probably need to improve as a trainer as well. We help our players primarily on offense, right? Because you're mainly going to have the ball in your hands or be moving without the ball. But defensively, if you can't guard, that honestly might be the most important skill in basketball. We see all the time in the NBA, a lot of players get picked on. They get switches, and you'll try to, for example, LeBron will try to get switched on and have Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero guard him. So you'll see the Miami Heat a lot of the times take those players out towards the end of the game. So if you can't guard, sometimes it's a little out of your control, but what you can control is your effort, your mindset, and having some defensive skills that you can control and work on. So being anticipatory, being quick reactions, quick feet, chesting up, walling up around the rim, and doing the smart little things, diving on the floor that can keep you on the floor even if you're not the best one-on-one defender. And of course, it's a team defense, so if you have a big 7-footer down by the rim, it's going to help you a lot. So take pride in defense, study great defenders, and work on lateral quickness. One thing, a couple defenders I would recommend you guys study are Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, TJ McConnell, all pesky small guards that are going to help you guys out. Number 6 is having no game IQ and poor decision making. This, again, might be the most important, and I think a lot of you guys neglect this in your training. Think about your workouts by yourself or your workouts with your friends or your trainers. If most of that is on air with cones or no defense, chances are your decision making is not going to be as high as it should be. You need to start training with live defense, reads, reactions, and situations that you're actually going to see in the game. Because the harder you make your training and the more game-like you make it, the more when the game actually comes, those decisions are going to be instinctual, right? So you need to make sure that you're able to make the right decisions. And then how do we know which decisions to make? Well, watching film can help us a lot, right? Maybe I'm driving on the right side, help defense comes. Now I'm reading the help the helper, and I decide if I pass to the corner or the wing for that 2-on-1 on the weak side. I see these patterns by watching film and by playing live as much as possible. So definitely do not neglect this decision making. I promise you guys, your coaches are going to want you to be a high-level decision maker regardless of how many points you can score. And again, study the game as much as possible, and this will help you a lot. All right, the 7th and final one, and I'm going to show you guys, is not putting in enough quality reps. And another way to put this is working smarter, not harder. So I like to tell our shooters all the time, or at least players who think that they're shooters, you could get 500 to 1,000 shots up a day, but if they aren't game speed and you don't have the proper mechanics and you're not making it consistently, then you're literally wasting your time. You could get up 1,000 shots a day, 5 days a week, 5,000 shots a week. But again, if it's not the right form, if you're not getting them at game speeds, then it's literally wasting your time. So quality reps are so important, making sure that you're doing everything the right way, not worrying about how much you sweat during a workout, but actually worrying about how much you improve during a workout. I think that's a big distinction. So make sure you guys get some advice or feedback from a trainer or coach or somebody who knows what they're talking about. And I'd rather you guys get 100 quality reps at game speed with contests, with the proper form that's going to actually translate to games, than 1,000 reps that aren't going to translate. So some examples of this could be shooting around with no focus, not getting enough in-game reps to apply your skills. So make sure you guys train with intensity, work on your weaknesses, and simulate real game scenarios in workouts. These are 7 of the biggest mistakes young hoopers make, and some ways to fix them. Make sure you guys give yourselves an honest assessment of these 7 things. Maybe you rank them 1 out of 10, 10 being you're really good at your weekend, 1 being you're not good, 10 being you're good at decision making, 1 being you're not. And then think about some of the advice I gave you and try to implement those into your game. As always, we really appreciate you guys. We're making that push to 10,000 subscribers. So we'd really appreciate it if you drop a like, comment, subscribe for us, because we're almost there. And as always, if you guys want more, make sure to check out our online platform where we have tons of these drills that are going to help you guys translate the skills to the actual game. Until next time, peace.